Welcome! Today, we're diving into a topic that sits at the exhilarating intersection of creativity and computation, building a game with artificial intelligence in just 24 hours. This isn't about creating the next blockbuster. It's a focused engineering challenge. It's about rapid prototyping, making smart architectural trade-offs, and understanding where modern AI can deliver the most impact under extreme constraints. For the ML engineers, data scientists, and students here, this is a practical look at deploying AI beyond the Jupyter Notebook. We'll explore how to choose the right models, integrate them into a real-time environment, and, most importantly, finish with a working prototype. The first rule of a 24-hour challenge is brutal prioritization. What does done actually mean? It means a single, playable core loop. Not a branching narrative, not a complex skill tree, and definitely not a perfectly balanced reinforcement learning agent that learned to play the game itself. Our goal is to augment a simple game mechanic with a tangible AI feature. This could be dynamic NPC dialogue, procedurally generated item descriptions, or unique enemy behaviors. The key insight here is that the constraint is the feature. It forces us to use AI not as a replacement for traditional game development, but as a powerful tool for enhancing specific, isolated components. We must aggressively cut anything that doesn't serve that single, demonstrable AI integration. With our scope defined, we analyze the game loop to find the most fertile ground for AI. Imagine a simple fantasy RPG. The loop is talk, quest, fight, loot. Where can we inject AI for maximum impact with minimum friction? Complex combat AI is out. It requires too much tuning. But what about the talk and loot phases? We could use a large language model to generate endless variations of tavern gossip or quest introductions. For loot, a diffusion model could generate unique icons and descriptions for magical items on the fly. These are asymmetric opportunities, areas where a small amount of AI work can produce a disproportionately large amount of perceived depth and dynamism for the player. We're not building a conscious NPC, we're building a system that feels more alive. This is the most critical technical decision you'll make. Do you use a powerful, pre-trained model via an API, or do you run a smaller, optimized model locally? The API route, calling something like OpenAI or Cohere, gives you state-of-the-art power instantly, but introduces latency and a dependency on an internet connection. The local route, using a quantized model like a distilled BERT or a small T5 model, gives you speed and self-sufficiency, but at the cost of reduced generative capability. For a 24-hour project, the answer is almost always start with an API. Get the functionality working first. You can always explore swapping in a local model later if latency becomes a core gameplay issue. This is MLOps in microcosm. Build the pipeline first, then optimize the model. Time is our enemy, so our tech stack must prioritize speed of iteration over everything else. For the game engine, something like Godot or Unity is perfect due to their extensive asset stores and community support. The AI backend is where it gets interesting. Don't build it inside the game engine. Instead, set up a minimal Python server using Flask or Fast API. Why? Because the Python ecosystem for ML is unparalleled. You can use the Hugging Face Transformers library to host a model with a few lines of code, or the OpenAI library to call an external API. The game engine simply makes HTTP requests to your local Python server. This decouples the game logic from the ML logic, making both sides easier to debug and develop independently. Let's get practical. How do we build dynamic dialogue? First, we need a prompt. Good prompt engineering is 80% of the battle. Your prompt should establish the NPC's persona, their current mood, their knowledge of the game world, and a summary of the recent conversation history. For instance, you are Bram, the grumpy blacksmith. You dislike adventurers. The player just asked you about the dragon. Respond curtly. The game sends this prompt to our Python server. The server forwards it to an LLM API. The response is parsed and displayed in the game's UI. The trick for consistency is managing the context window. You don't send the entire chat history every time. You send a concise, rolling summary. This keeps the prompt efficient and the API costs down. AI isn't just for text. We can create a pipeline for generative art. Imagine the player finds a sword of whispering gloom. Instead of using a generic icon, the game can generate a unique one. The process is this. The game's loot system generates the item name. This name becomes the core of a prompt for a diffusion model like Stable Diffusion, perhaps a fantasy sword hilt, dark metal, glowing purple gem, game asset icon, white background. This prompt is sent to our backend. The backend uses a library like diffusers to generate a 512 by 512 image. A crucial, often missed step is post-processing. We might need to automatically remove the background or apply a consistent border style before feeding it into the game's UI. This entire pipeline can run in seconds, creating a feeling of infinite, unique content. Here's a vital insight for anyone building robust systems. Don't throw away decades of game AI development. The most powerful approach in a time crunch is not to replace classic AI, but to augment it. Use a traditional finite state machine or a behavior tree for an enemy's core logic. Patrol, chase, attack, flee. This is predictable, reliable, and easy to debug. Then use machine learning to add nuance. For example, a small classification model could analyze the player's behavior and set a variable, like player is aggressive. The behavior tree can then use this variable to decide which attack to use. The ML model provides the what, but the classic AI provides the how. This hybrid approach gives you the reliability of deterministic systems with the flavor of intelligent adaptation. In the final hours, your focus shifts to performance. If your AI is API-based, latency is your enemy. The player can't wait 2 seconds for an NPC to reply. You need to hide this latency. Trigger the API call before the player needs the result. For example, start generating the NPC's response as soon as the player enters their conversational radius, not when they click talk. You can also display a thinking animation in the UI. For local models, the enemy is frame rate. Running inference can cause hitches. The solution is to run inference on a separate thread from the main game loop, and to use techniques like model quantization to reduce the computational load. The goal is for the AI to feel seamlessly integrated, not like a feature that pauses the entire game. And time's up. What do we have? We don't have a commercial game, but we have something far more valuable, a functional prototype that proves an idea. We have a tangible artifact that demonstrates the integration of a generative AI model into a real-time interactive application. For everyone here, the takeaway is that this is achievable. The tools are accessible, and the core concepts, scoping, decoupling, and augmenting, are universally applicable. The next step isn't to add more features. It's to take this learning and apply it to a project with a longer timeline, or to isolate one of these techniques and perfect it. You've now built the scaffolding. The rest is up to you.